Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press, and again, I'm in Jacksonville. I'm getting ready to head back to Valdosta, Georgia, to get ready for an interview with Reverend Floyd Rose about the deaths that has taken place across the nation, not just here in Jacksonville. So, Bobby Worthy, explain to me again, what have you done today? I know you left Georgia early this morning, but tell us what you've done today, and what do you hope to accomplish?
Well, today I filed several amendment of color law complaint from the two original shootings in jails in Jacksonville, one murder and one boy was recently shot. I amended the original complaint that was filed in June 2nd of this year, which it actually got the FBI to initiate an investigation against JSO and Angel Corey's office. And also I filed today for Antonio Whetstone, right? Make sure I'm pronouncing it right. Whetstone, who was shot in 2005, who was shot by a Hamilton County deputy in Jennings, Florida, Bobby Boatwright. Shot him 12 times. Today I filed what they call a color of law complaint. The family has been seeking justice since then. This officer we found out is working another job. But I filed a color law complaint on the investigation for the Hamilton County Police Sheriff Department and the State Attorney's Office and FDLE, not to mention that the Florida Department of Law Enforcement also was involved in the other. I amended the complaint and I added those amended complaints. I added the Florida Law Enforcement Department as well to that amended complaint. But the reason I added the Florida Law Department Law, the reason I added them was because they are the initial investigations of all these police killings and murders, just going on murders and shooting on black men by law enforcement, mainly targeting African American neighborhoods, African American, and in Mr. Weatherstone case, the officer signed into evidence a serial number of a weapon, but the weapon was never actually physically in custody that he alleged that Mr. Weatherstone had. This is the color law complaint that he allegedly had. What made me about this case is Mr. Weatherstone is the one that called 911 for assistance and ended up getting killed by the police. This kind of rugged police stuff we got to stop. The family has been seeking justice since 2005. And we're at that point now, the breaking point where the asking for an independent investigation, demanding with the color law an independent investigation into the affairs of the Hamilton County Sheriff Department, namely Bobby Boatwright, the officer that assassinated their son, Antonio.
Okay, now I met with them, I think was in Waycross a few years ago, and let's let them come in and just tell their stories the way they want to. What's your name, sir?
Esau Gandy Jr.
And you the father?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the mother?
Sandra Gandy.
Okay, tell us, you all, after all these years, you just won't give up, or what's going on here? Y'all must really love your son.
Yes, I do love my son.
And willing to fight for him?
And willing to fight for him, okay. Yes.
And tell us why you call Bobby Worthy, and what is mainly, what happened to your son, in your own words, short form, what happened to your son?
In my words, I believe my son called for help because he's at the motel that night.
And where was this at?
In Jennings Motel in Jennings, Florida. And someone was breaking in him at the moment. He didn't know who it was, and he called 911. And come to find out, the person that break in was his allegedly girlfriend, when he had a child by. But when she got there and broke in the room, he had another female with him. And the two girls initially began to fight, I reckon. And when the officer got there, the other girl beat all up and she was blood all up. I guess he figured my son might have did it. He just came in, just went to shooting, and he was mad and went to shooting him up like, he was a bad animal or something. In the way I think it happened.
Do you have any other children?
Yes, we do.
So, how do you feel like local court system, judicial system there in your city? You think that they have done what they need to do?
No, I really don't. Because the sheriff made a statement on national television that his deputy did an outstanding job. He saved 2 people alive. when he the one initially called the one that dead alive, and he didn't say nobody alive, he took alive. And they're walking around here on these cars to serve and protect the community, but they're not protecting the community. They are serving us with bullets and protecting each other by lying or upholding themselves, and I don't think that's right. And I don't think a sheriff should get on that TV and say deputy did a outstanding job with a statement received from his deputy. Because there ain't no way you can be in a small bathroom in a motel and somebody shoot at you with a bullet, you that close, you gonna draw your head back before the bullet hit you. Ain't no way it can happen. I don't see no way that could even not be nowhere near true.
So is it? Do y'all have two government, city and county, or just county government?
We got the county sheriff.
Y'all don't have a city police.
We got a city police.
So how did the county? I mean, who handled the case? The city or the county?
The county.
The county, and you saying that they didn't do a good job?
They didn't do a good job. My son got killed at 3 o'clock in the morning, I believe, and it was about 1:30, 2 o'clock I knew for the body to come out the room. Because I believe they in there trying to stage the scene of accident where it can make like it was his fault. But it was really not his fault.
So once again, give me that time when it happened, and then what happened, how long it was in there?
3 o'clock in the morning to about maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock I knew for the body came out of the motel.
Okay, but did they let you ID the body?
No, sir, they didn't. We tried to get up, they wouldn't let nobody go near the room but them. FDLE and the officer were in there, FDLE was in there doing what they had to do.
So at what point did you finally get to see your son's body?
When he was down yonder to the mortician in Valdosta, Georgia, Heritage Funeral Home.
What do you feel about law enforcement not allowing you to see your body? Because the same thing happened in KJ's case. They wouldn't let Jacqueline and Kenneth ID their son's body, who was found dead at the Lowndes County High School. And I heard somebody say at least they should have some type of courtesy to at least show that. But you think that maybe because you're black, we don't want to play the race card as they call it, but after all, we came over here on a race card.
I think it's because they're trying to cover their tracks up. They trying to make sure, cause we went in there, they wouldn't have seen nothing, evident that they say my son did. I think they're trying to cover their stage up.
Okay, did the G.B.R. come in and investigate?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Florida law enforcement.
That's what I mean, the equivalent they are in Florida.
The FDLE came in.
Okay.
They came in.
Okay, and did they give you any service?
No, they didn't. Nothing.
No. What about the civil rights organization? Were they present down there during this case?
No, sir. We live in a small community, and they try to keep everything swept on the rug. The least you know, the better off you'll be around there, but doing the way they see it.
What about the press? Y'all excuse me, but what about the press, the newspapers and television? How did they cover this story?
Well, it was one article wrote up in the newspaper in Jasper, Florida, and when the sheriff found out what they wrote up, he immediately went to the newspaper officer and asked them, who told you to write this up in the paper like this? And I think he closed them down, from printing anything else about the case at that time.
So there's a great possibility that it just may be like some other places in that we don't really have a free press.
Yeah, you're right.
To press the paper,
right.
The facts on paper.
Call them who you is.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's get ready to close. Bobby, you have any other thing you want to say?
Yes, I wanted to say is because I just gave y'all don't mind, I gave George a copy of the evidence as well, so he can view it. If you look at the tape, you'll see that in the close percentage that this hotel was, you'll see that this was a killing from the heart. This was a retaliation. In my opinion, it was a retaliation because he was with a white girl. That's my opinion, because when you look at the body, it seems like the officer stepped over the body and didn't shoot him. Shot him in the hand, in the arm, all over his body 12 times. And you have to intentionally really shoot somebody in the hand. You have to really go down there and shoot him in the hand. So this was to me no more than a contract retaliation, racist bias, killing from an officer.
Did not we hear that earlier this morning from a judge in Valdosta who said that these young black boys are going with these white girls and it's creating some problems, and they ended up in juvenile? Did you hear that this morning?
Yes, and from a judge that handled juvenile.
Isn't that something?
Ain't that something? Really? The bootlickers, Uncle Tom, Chicken George. I didn't say that.
Why you mess up my film like that? Come on, why do you use that term, Bobby?
Wait, that's what we call them. We call them That's what we call sellouts of their own color. We call them bootlickers. Uncle Tom, Chicken George, cowards, Thomasinus, Uncle Toms. As one of our greatest revolutionaries that people don't know about is G.B.R. And we studied G.B.R. when we went to Charleston 9, the Manual 9 when they got killed, the Walter Scott case. They found out that G.B.R. of that Emmanuel 9 got killed and was the co-founder of that church, Emmanuel 9. And G.B.R. plan was to kill all slave masters. His plan was to kill all slave masters. And because of the bootlickers, the Uncle Toms, the Chicken George, the cowards, the snitches behind the bone, snitched on him and 35 others that were hung that day and thrown in the Bay Area for shock beat. And that's what we live in today. We have the Uncle Toms the same color we is, and we have them even not the same, opposite color. We got the red, the brown, the blue, all colors now, Uncle Tom. But our people need to get it together. First of all, we need to stop the black on black crime. That's one of our biggest issues. I hate to see it all the time. Young guys just not thinking, and they lose their whole life at one decision that they make. We got to stop the killing. As you can see, the police ain't stopping. They just had two murders in the last 24 hours. 2 murders, one in Minnesota, one in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Where it looks like the police just are getting very comfortable at shooting a black person.
One question, and you close on this note. All three of you can respond if you like. What do you think would happen if the numbers and the statistic was reversed and it was black police officers shooting down white children? What do you think it will be a little different?
Well, oh yeah, it'll be a lot different because it'll be a lot different. Even the black officers that shoot black victims, they're not punished like they're supposed to. Since even in Jacksonville recently, they had an altercation where three or four officers ran into a store after a black guy beat him to death. And they had another altercation where a white girl spit on a black officer. He hit her and punched her. They didn't beat him to death. They just beat him and jumped on the other guy in the liquor store. They didn't beat him to death. But this black officer punched the girl because she spit on him and hit her. And within a week, they had him arrested and prosecuted.
Okay, let's close on this note. And I don't know anybody that can answer this better. I was with you, District Coordinator Larry Lockie, District Coordinator Larry O'Hara, Mr. Hall, I think it was, in Willacoochee, Georgia, some years ago, after they got the equipment 10+2, dealing with voting rights irregularities. You then sent out a press release to notify the general public that a press conference was taking place about possibly an individual buying votes, driving a government vehicle, and the news media didn't even show up. I was the only camera there. So why do you done this, I think, with some of the most recent press release. Why do you think that the news media will not show up when it comes to black news in the black community and considering what's happening to our young black boys and black girls?
My opinion that the news is censored. They have certain things that they can report. I used to blame the news reporters, but I don't now, because I know now it's the folks over them that's pulling their strings, what to say, how to say it, and when to say it. And it's just unfortunately that their voices of freedom of speech has been cut like that. That's why I always get the ghetto free press, because you report what others ignore, even if it's good or bad. You know what I'm saying? Even we have had our disagreements and all that about different stuff, and some of the things I have learned, even being around the ghetto free press, the voice, has made me a better person in handling situations and different stuff. So you surround yourself with good people and good things that happen. But like I said, the news media just don't want to report what involves us, and even when it involves us, they only want to report the negative, what's the positive. Like every time a black man get killed, they always got to bring up his past. What does his past have to do with what just happened? You know what I'm saying? I mean, what he did 30 years ago and him getting shot and killed by the police today ain't got nothing to do with that. But you bring up all his bad things, what he did. He was a known this. And in Jacksonville, in the Keith Crowder situation, they got Keith Crowder. He was a certified, this is what the news people said. He was a certified gang member. Really? First of all, I want to know where did he get a certification from? And if he got a certification, who signed the certificate? A certified gang member. I have never heard that in my life till I heard it from the Jacksonville news team.
And it's time for us to hold them accountable. And if we don't hold them accountable, at least we can speak the truth and tell what's actually happening. And I'm here to say, I'm saddened to say it, but we served, and I'm going to continue to say this. I put 21 years in the United States Armed Forces. And it seems as if though the federal government don't give a damn about our active duty, disabled, retired, and ordinary veterans that served this nation in both time of war and in time of peace. And I'm going to say, it is a disgrace, it is a disgrace, it is a disgrace. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.